Hello everyone, Marty6 Resers here, and I apologize for the lack of videos, but I'm gonna make it up for you and actually post 4 videos today. Okay? But yeah, 4 videos today. That's gonna take a while. But yeah, so today we're gonna have an animal fight. Our third one in a while. And I wanna do more of these WWE versus WWE fights or animal fights and a lot before I go into more comic book stuff again. And this time around, I want to do a very unique battle, and that is the blue whale versus Paedophryne. Keep in mind, before anyone comments, I'm gonna mispronounce the name of the second animal, probably throughout the entire video. I tried to pronounce it a few times beforehand, and I failed, so that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I have no idea how you say it, but if you can see the title, yeah. So this is going to be the world's largest animal versus the world's smallest animal. Now, before anyone does, I did do a lot of research and learn more about the Paedophryne before I can determine who would win. Alright, now I don't really need to go into the blue whale that much. It's one of the most famous animals on the planet. A lot of people know about the blue whale. It's huge. It's widely known that it's very large. However, I do think people tend to overestimate the blue whale to some extent. A lot of people think, oh, nothing can beat a blue whale other than, say, maybe an elephant because it's that big. But no, I do think a lot of creatures, it really doesn't matter how big, how strong, how small, or how fast, that almost every single animal can be beaten in a one-on-one fight. For example, elephants and hippos. Elephants can actually get beaten quite often. Whether people would realize or admit it, that's up for debate. Hippos are definitely one of the harder creatures, but they can still be beaten. But yeah, so starting off with the blue whale. Since it's like other whales, I'm not going to go too much into it other than its main advantage is probably its size. But yeah. Now, for the Paedophryne, I did a lot of research. Wondered, can this creature is poisonous? And I actually realized that yes, in some instances it can be poisonous and all that. And the Paedophryne also, because of its small size, I think can also swim in water. So this fight will probably take place in the water. As for who would win, you see, the hard part about this kind of fight is when you have something that's so big versus something that's so small, you have to consider it, how well can the animal actually see each other? Because in every other fight, even shark versus rhino, or shark versus a tiger, they can still see each other in the fight. They can still see each other. So that's why I thought in those fights, it's a little bit more realistic that they can see each other. In this fight, the blue whale won't be able to see the Paedophryne since it's very, very small. And yes, before anyone comments, I am aware there is a smaller animal, but it seems to be like an organism. So I said, nah, it doesn't really count, so Paedophryne. And the Paedophryne, however, on the other side, can see the blue whale almost instantly. But it's like, who would win? Well, when you're in the water, poison probably is the worst kind of like way. Poison is kind of like the worst way to have in a fight because you're not only just going to affect the animal. I think you're probably going to affect the entire other side of the ocean. That's kind of why I don't think that there's poisonous animals that live in the water, since, other than frogs, since the Paedophryne is also a frog, but I know some frogs tend to live in the water, while others don't. Same thing I think goes with some poisonous animals. I think there's a reason why, it's because they're going to affect everything else. However, if I have to pick, I have to go with the Paedophryne in this case, and here's why. The Paedophryne is poisonous. Yes, it probably won't survive after the fight, if I'm being honest, but that does not mean it's a tie. I really don't like when people say these two animals would fight, and after the fight is over, it's like, oh, the animal died. No, that's not how this works, and I think it's best we do it during the fight. And in this case, the Paedophryne, while probably would die after, the Paedophryne's biggest advantage is its poison. And yes, it is poisonous, and I did do research. Blue whales, again, I think the problem with whales in terms of like who would win, they tend to get overestimated quite often. Everybody thinks, oh, the blue whale, the humpback whale, all these different kind of whales are so powerful. Well, they can take out anyone. But in reality, you gotta also look at it from a realistic standpoint and realize, how often do whales actually fight other animals? And you're going to be shocked when I say I think they fight less. And I think it's widely because of the area they are in compared to other animals. You see spiders, lions, tigers, bears, alligators, crocodiles, what else? Mongoose, snakes, pythons, all those other creatures. They all have advantages when it comes to like fighting abilities because of the fact that they live in areas where other animals will often appear. The ocean is just way too big, and in that case, it's harder to find like animals that you're actually gonna see fighting. If you ask me, like one often one thing that's important to note is and also judging from the whale's more natural side, it doesn't really seem that they seem that that are able to fight compared to say other creatures. Plus, the only animals whales seem to fight are just killer whales or orcas. Really just orcas. Because almost every whale has had a crappy encounter with an orca. Means more often whales don't even fight sharks, and that's like one of the most popular debates. Who would win, a great white shark or a humpback whale or a blue whale? So that's why for this video, the Paedophryne, I know I said it wrong, but the Paedophryne wins against a blue whale. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.